Good morning, welcome to a new market update, and today I've been quite surprised with the heavy move that we've just seen, in which Bitcoin accelerated towards above 39k, and even if you are trading futures we've hit 40k plus, resulting in a short squeeze as we've been tapping liquidity above many levels. So what's next? That's what we're going to discuss today. But before that, do not forget to subscribe beneath and like this YouTube update if you enjoy my content. And now we can start discussing the charts, in which you can see we've had a very massive breakout after the weekly closed, through which this next weekly is also heavily in green, and we can see that we have been tapping resistance and just accelerating in a very fast pace. And what did actually happen? Well, we've seen that we've made this breakout above resistance previously. So we've been touching 32.6 after we've made this fake out on the downside, and we've already concluded that once Bitcoin is able to reclaim a previous support level for support once again, which is the 31k level, it might be that we're going to test the other side of the range, which is the area around 40k. That is currently the resistance zone that we are acting in. So that is what we are seeing here. We see that we are consolidating, and then we explode or make a breakout to the upside, through which the shorts are getting squeezed above these previous resistance zones, right? So this big move that we have anticipated from 32k to 34k was a minimal short squeeze already. Since then, during the weekend, we have been consolidating here, through which we were pacing up towards the next resistance zone, which can be found here. And you can see that there are many levels that can have short stops above them. And usually once it starts to break out, it gives a cascade or acceleration of liquidations, through which it just continues to move towards the next resistance zone, which, as a matter of fact, is currently what we're seeing with Bitcoin. We accelerated towards the next level around 38k. We've broke through 36, which I saw as the next resistance level 2, and right now we are switching the trend towards an upwards trend at this stage, especially given the lower time frames, through which continuation seems very likely. You should all realize that the zone around 40k is still a very heavy resistance zone and the upper side of the range, and you should be aware that you shouldn't be FOMOing into the markets at this point, given the fact that we have just witnessed such a big move, and given the fact that we are not going to make a breaker out of the resistance in one go. A very likely scenario is that we're going to consolidate a little, move towards resistance, and come back down to consolidate during August, before we're going to continue to make the upwards movements from here, given that right now we've taken the liquidity at those stops, and probably everybody wants to start longing the markets in these regions because they feel the FOMO again, because the sentiment is switching very fast. You can see it now, as well as in the past few weeks. People have been ultra negative towards me and towards the other influencers in the space too. But the market has just been seeing a very heavy correction, and is most likely bottomed out if it holds some critical levels on the downside. But this is a very likely scenario that I'm looking at. We still have the CME gap around 32.5. That could be closed, but at this stage I think that the area that you want to sustain in order to continue the movements in a later stage above those range resistance, the level that you should be watching for support is that region between 34.4 and 35.7. If you look at the data right now, the first area that you should be looking at for longs is that zone. So right now you shouldn't be looking at any swing longs yet. You should be looking at the fact that right now we are going to create a new higher high in this trend, and then you want to sustain a new higher low before we're going to make a breaker to the upside and we make a new higher high. So for me, the critical level that Bitcoin has to hold on to for support is that level between 34.5 and 36k. Where's the pain at this stage? Well, if we consolidate here for a little, probably people will be increasing their longs and looking for more longs even, through which the pain is on the downside, resulting in a Bart Simpson downwards again, which we have been seeing here too, through which we are going to test the lower levels. What is next for altcoins? As right now Bitcoin has seen such a big move, altcoins are most likely going to follow through, given the fact that those are usually just following the king and Bitcoin has to move first. Ethereum at this stage is still in a critical resistance level. We're testing it once again. I'm not sure whether we're going to make that break from Ethereum at this level immediately towards the next one, but we can conclude that we've got a double bottom and we've got a range low. Next to that, what you want to see, and especially if Bitcoin is going to make a corrective move, is that Ethereum is going to test the level around 2K and sustain there for support. That would grant a new higher low, that would grant some more strength, and is very much comparable to the structure that we have made in September and November and October in the previous year, in which we created a higher low. So at this stage you can see that we've made a double bottom structure, but I do not expect this to continue moving. If it breaks 24, I think the next resistance zone lies around 25.50, and then we still have to come back to create a higher low before we can continue moving, which is the same as on Bitcoin. Ethereum against Bitcoin, you can see that we're still making some lower highs and lower lows, but the Bitcoin pairs are bouncing back swiftly at this point, meaning that the strength is still in the altcoin pairs at this stage, through which continuation is very much likely to happen on those as well. If you look at Cardano, yes, we have been making a dip, yes, we took out the liquidity beneath the lows at this stage, but the daily candle is bouncing back in a very fast manner, through which the USDT pair is getting towards the range highs as well. And I'm now using the wrong chart, but we are getting towards the range highs for the altcoins at this point. So the most likely case is that altcoins are going to follow suit with Bitcoin. And the most likely case at this stage is that Bitcoin is bottomed out. If we look at the critical levels, as we have discussed, the range between 34.5 to 36 is the first real critical level that I'm looking at. The second one is around 32.5. If we stay above, we are bottomed out and we're making ourselves ready for the next impulse wave during the second part of this year. I hope you have enjoyed this update. I'll see you again tomorrow with a fresh new one. Have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe. See you again.